Harper, hello.
Hello. Good morning from Arizona, USA.
And hello, Peter.
Hello, is it me you're looking for? I'm from Aberdeen, Scotland.
Possibly. Hello, Chris.
A warm hello from Belgium.
Drinking. And we go over to Marco, who's Marco. England calling Portugal. Calling Portugal.
Ears that size and you can't hear.
Marco's having technical difficulties.
You've got a problem. Leave him. Right. Okay. We'll come back to Marco.
No bueno.
Right. Hello, Maria.
Hi, everyone from Ontario, Canada. Nice to see you all.
Brilliant. And hello, Nick.
Oh, hello from sunny Farnborough in the UK, the home of British aviation.
No.
Indeed it is. We're still waiting for Portugal. Portugal.
No,
I think he's on the phone channel.
Have you guys heard of the Eurovision Song Contest? It's an annual contest.
It was painful for Britain.
It's an annual singing contest. All the countries in Europe, including England, Australia, and Israel, which are obviously all in Europe.
Very
And the song contest was on Saturday night, and out of all the nations that took part, we didn't get a single vote. We didn't even get a vote from Portugal. Come in, Portugal. No, we've gone
Ground control to Major Tom.
Marco's communicating in Braille today.
Okay,
Harper, if we'd have actually had ground control to Major Tom as our entry, we might have got a point.
Yeah, we might.
I played that on the radio and it was current hit.
I mean, we have won the contest in the past, so it's not as if we can't do it. And Peter's winding up or winding down.
Wind him up. Refresh.
Right, I think it's to do with the mixer.
Today.
Do with the mixer. Okay, to everybody who's watching us live now, thank you. And if you make a comment, we'll show the comment on screen as we go along. Now, each week we start with a starting topic, and if I can get my tongue around this week's topic is: if I knew then what I know now.
Oh God!
Yeah, oh boy.
Okay, now.
Open up a can of worms.
Okay, I'll start, and I'm in total agreement with Star Trek. Just a minute. Just give me a second. I know you can hear me twice. Okay. Right. Okay. I was just checking that we're live on the website. So while you gather your thoughts about I wish I knew then what I know now. Back in the 90s, does anybody remember CompuServe?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes.
Or CIX? Kicks?
Yeah.
Okay. They were the internet companies of the day. Sadly, no longer with us. But when they started the internet, there was no infrastructure anywhere. The US Army had an infrastructure nobody else had. And our British telecoms just were not in the game. They didn't think the internet would take off. So an enterprising young programmer in the UK started an internet service, and he purchased computers to do that, and he purchased Apricot computers. Anybody remember Apricot?
Okay. Apricot, yeah.
So everything ran on Apricot servers. And basically, in those days, it was all bulletin boards, and people could talk to each other.
I remember that.
It was text only. There were no graphics and nothing at all.
Yeah.
And Cliff decided that this was going to be a winner. This was the way things were going to be. And what he wanted to do was to build an internet company using Apricot servers. He wanted to buy the machinery. He wanted to set the infrastructure up, and he offered it to 200 people on Kicks. He said, if you give me the money now and trust me, this is going to work, then I'll give you shares in the company. We'll form a limited company. You will have shares. If the company grows, your shares will increase in value. And I thought about this because I was one of the few hundred people who are actually able to take part in it. And I decided that on balance, this was too risky. The internet may take off, but it's never, ever going to be big. So I ducked out of the deal. I wasn't one of the, Jim's laughing, I wasn't one of the 200 who actually took part in it. If I had known then what I know now, I might have made a different choice, because the company went on to grow and grow and grow. It was sold for 25 million to Scottish Power, and everybody who invested their money came out with $400,000 for a very relatively small investment. So if I had known then what I know now, I would have bought those shares.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Sure.
Yeah. I don't regret the decision. I'm of the Star Trek persuasion. Do not alter your past, because everything will just disappear. Do not get involved in anybody else's life. Because one change in your past, and you might not be sat here today.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%, Stephen. I agree 100%. Yeah.
I think Marco's just gone back in time.
Okay, and now that I've stopped talking,
Star Trek.
No sound.
Marco. Hello, Marco.
Marco. Hi.
Hello. Oh my God.
Speak, Marco, speak.
Yeah.
Marco, I'll bet you just recently updated your crisp, didn't you? I saw that there was an upgrade, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to do that." Wait, not right before a broadcast. So I'm going to do that afterwards. That way, it gives me 6.5 days to figure out.
We're all watching Marco.
Yeah, I know. We feel for him, James. We feel for him.
Yeah.
Right. Does anyone have a story? Harper.
I do. I was, being from Seattle, I don't like to brag about that. But being from there, during the early 90s when Starbucks first came out, of course, nobody knew what the heck a Starbucks was. I was thinking Starbucks from Battlestar Galactica, but Starbucks came out, and I'm like, why would you have a coffee stand? I mean, you can go to a diner and get a cup of coffee. What's the big deal? But when they first initially opened up, we were watching it, and every day at lunch, we'd turn on the news just to catch this, just to kind of see what was going on. It was something to play while we were, eating our lunch or whatever, and sitting there and watching the price of Starbucks shares slowly going up and up and up and up, and but the sitting here watching it, and it's just going up and going up, and we did this for like a year, and it's like, I don't remember which one of us said, why didn't we just buy some? We're sitting here watching it going up and up and up. But can you imagine if I would have bought, I think it opened up, I had to look it up. It says it opened up at $17 a share. Imagine throwing a couple $100 or, say like $100 a month into these shares, and it opened in 92. So you're looking at almost 30 years, 29 years of just building and building. Man, yeah, let me tell you. Yeah, that'd be crazy. But
Yeah.
If only.
But Harper, I still don't get it. I see people queuing up to go into Starbucks and Starbucks drive-through, and I just do not understand what the hell's going on. I just find it bizarre.
You need a $7 cup of coffee.
No, I really don't.
I buy a box with like 100 little K-cups that make this for $24. And so this is like literally pennies.
Yes.
But people spend a fortune on coffee.
Yeah.
And my father had a situation.
The reason that they do, it's a status. It's to walk around with that Starbucks coffee.
Yeah.
Because if it was just coffee, you'd make your own.
Yeah.
But it's to walk around with that status of, yep, I got my Starbucks, I fit in. You know, it's the same thing of having, you know, my little name brand on my my jacket or whatever it is. That's all it is. It's a status thing, and makes them feel, especially if they're in sales, they walk around and they're like, "Yep, I'm doing my part." So I mean, that's all it is.
I just wonder if they cut it with cocaine or something.
I've been there.
we used to have cats, and we swore blind that, you know, the last thing, I don't know if you get Whiskers cat food in the States, but in the UK, if we ever fed our cats Whiskers, they would not touch another cat food afterwards. And we swear they must have put something in it that was the
super
addictive for cats. You know?
Probably catnip. Probably catnip. Cats go crazy for catnip. That's probably one of the secret ingredients. That's why they won't eat anything else.
Crazy.
Now, my dad had a situation that was one of those situations. When I was young, my dad had $10,000, which was a lot of money in the 50s, a lot of money.
Yeah.
And my dad was going to invest $10,000. He's a working class guy, he's a enlisted man in the military, and he had $10,000 to invest.
Wow.
And our neighbor across the street had an invention. He had invented glass that turned a different color with sunlight. It darkened with sunlight and lightened otherwise. And he was a lieutenant commander in the Navy. He had invented this with the envision that it would be used for aircraft cockpits. So when it got sunny, it would turn dark.
Yeah.
But my dad and Dad could have 25% of that stock for $10,000. But he said that was too risky and bought Sears and Roebuck stock instead. And of course, that is transition lenses today, and
exactly.
You know, how much is that stock worth today? Had Dad had the foresight to buy it at 25% ownership of the entire company.
Wow, Jim, thank God you had your mother's genes.
Oh, thank God. Peter said, you know, that he was ill today. Now he's not with us anymore. My God. Peter, should we have an obituary here?
I have a feeling there'll be a resurrection, though.
Stephen asked if you knew then. If I knew then what I know now, I never would have dated Lois. Oh my God! What trouble that would have saved me, and I'd have kept the Amazon stock.
Yeah,
I had Amazon stock at $700 a share, and I got scared of it when it went to 12, and I unloaded it.
Oh yeah.
I took my profit then.
Yeah.
Many times we had things in our youth that we regret later, but fate and karma showed that it was a better decision.
Sure.
Fate and karma bore out that, hey, it was the better thing to happen, even though it was trying at the time, and we were struggling with a decision. Over time, it became, you know, when I moved to Atlanta with my mattresses tied to the roof, and I was broke and divorced and angry, and my credit was bad. You know, I was getting out of the town where I had been raised. I didn't realize that the future was where I was headed to invest in the past.
Yeah.
So so decisions you make. Good subject, Stephen. But I want to say that I don't regret. You know, Dr. Frederick S. Perls was one of my mentors. Fritz Perls, the father of Gestalt psychology. He said, "You are the sum total of everything that you have ever experienced in that point to which it has brought you." You are the sum total of what you have experienced. You are your experiences and the point it brought you. So that's
yeah.
on the subject.
Very wise words. Very wise words, Jim.
That goes back to my hippie days when I was back when I was long hair and a beard, and I was sitting cross-legged with a Swami Muktananda.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Okay.
I'm
You remember it.
I still know my personal mantra.
Wow. But it stood you in good stead.
Oh yeah, I achieved level 5.
And then again at 5:30.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I was there. I was part of it.
Oh.
I bet Peter was a hippie. I bet Peter was a hippie.
I did have very long hair at one stage.
Okay. On stage, yes.
Really, really long hair, way down my back. I only ever had one picture and it disappeared. Let me tell you why all the pictures disappeared. It's because one of the regrets of my life, I was 21 and I went to a nightclub and I saw this little blonde lady, 4'11". Later, she turned out to be 4'11" of misery. And I got cleared out. And I could go and live in a porta cabin. I had $7 to my name, and I lived in a hut for a year. And it was the happiest time of my life. I gave her everything. But I was left with something. Do you know what it was?
Your pride.
£25,000 of credit card debt. And I paid it off. And many years later, I phoned them up and I said, "How much am I due you now?" And they said, £1,800. And I paid it off. I said, "I think it's time you got that money in full." So I'm looking, and you've made me think today, the way things are going for me just now. Regrets. I've
had a few.
So,
Still angling for that record deal.
Yeah, now you face the final curtain.
Yeah.
No final curtain for me. Anyway, my biggest regret now is because of the position I'm in now, fear held me back from expanding my business.
Okay.
Because I've always said, what if?
Okay.
What if? Biggest regret. Now I don't care. It's like being in that First World War trench and climbing over. You just want to accept what's coming. But me being me, I'm a rear gunner. So I'd watch him going over first and learn from it.
I think we all have that regret.
Yeah.
That we didn't expand and go for it. We didn't reach out for it. Yeah. I recall the first time I ever realized I was old. The first time I realized that I was old. Marco, don't laugh. I was sitting in a bar. And there was a gorgeous woman sitting across from me. This is before I met my wife, obviously. Gorgeous young woman. And she's looking at me. Follow this, Peter. She's looking at me. And she waved at me. She's all across the bar. She waved at me. Like, oh my gosh. Gorgeous young woman. She walks around the bar and she says, "You're Jim Ziegler, aren't you?" "Oh, yes, I am." She says, "I'm Tammy." I said, "Tammy, I apologize. Tammy." She said, "You used to date my mother."
Good one.
You took me to Disney World.
Oh, good one.
First time I realized I was old.
Yeah, for
There's-
sure.
Can you
I
hear
thought
me?
you were going to say she was going to come around going, "You're my dad."
You can hear me?
Marco,
Yes, we can hear you.
Hey, Marcus,
Okay, I was
surprising guy.
thinking, Jim, that when you said when the moment you got that you're getting old, because there's a joke here in Portugal that a guy, okay, I'm getting old, and someone said, and why? Because yesterday I saw a beautiful young lady, and instead of hope, I had memories.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. Yes, good point.
That's very true. Very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
You used to date
Yeah.
my mother.
Oh my God. You didn't expect that one, Jim, right?
I just struggle. You took me to Disney World. Oh yeah, little Tammy, little Tammy.
I don't like the fact I don't accept I'm old, and I got to the pub one night as well when I was singing. She says, "That was a great song, Grandad." I'm a young man. I'm going to die.
Yeah,
now.
you don't need fans like that. Good grief.
Yeah. I'm gonna
You're
do-
the only guy I know that dyes his hair white.
do you get Grecian over in America?
Yes, we do.
Grecian. I think
Sure.
I'm going to use
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
it.
It makes your hair salt and pepper. Steven uses it.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
I think Stephen froze.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not amused, you know.
And I think Nick is frozen too. Nick is frozen too.
No,
No,
Nick just
no.
looks that way.
Not for me.
You know, I'm here.
I'm still here.
Nick is
I'm
okay.
also still here.
Okay.
All right.
Is Steven gone from us?
No,
Yeah.
you'll be doing something in the background.
We lost
Steven, are you
Steven.
still there with audio?
Yeah.
We lost
Probably got a
Peter,
movie full
Marco.
of you.
All right. So who else wants to give a story on
Yeah, Chris.
looking back?
Yes, I will do one. My parents had a knitting factory, and they have worked very hard therein, extremely hard. And they did that for us, but we didn't know that. We saw only all the bad things of that, and they were very strict. So I was always not good at school, no reports how good it was always no good, I was worth nothing, and so forth. And that was a thing that gave me fear. Always punishment. I try to avoid people as much as I could because I don't want any punishment. And I try to also don't speak to them because you couldn't speak about feelings. You couldn't say something that they don't like, or there was punishment. And I had a thing that I only want to please people. I'm not worth anything, and I can also do not anything good. That was the first feeling that I had when I was little. And I hoped that sometimes I had that insight before, so I could find someone who could help me to speak with them, so that they trust me and that we could make a better life. Want this was not a fun life, always with the fear of punishment. And also later, even now, I have sometimes on the things that I had to work much better. Because otherwise there will be punishment, or I will have C4. I will go out of school. It isn't so. They appreciate me, but the fear still stays with me. And now what I do as an educator, I try to have some trust and to build a relationship with the students. So they must have not such feelings. and they really know they can do good things and they can make a better world.
Yeah, excellent.
Nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's great. You realized it, and then you've gone on from there, right, Chris? I mean, that's kind of
Yes.
hard. Oh, we've got Stephen back. We've got Stephen back. Hi, Stephen.
Stephen just moved.
You just moved, Stephen.
Moving.
I've
Stephen,
never
while
been
you were
too
gone,
far away.
Peter says you use Grecian formula.
I'm saying nothing. He can say that. I could not possibly comment. Nick, your story.
Oh, God, I'm struggling to think of one because, again, a bit like, I wouldn't want to change anything. But it just came to me a minute ago. I was just thinking, if I was Prince Charles, I guess I would be thinking, I wish I'd stuck at one child and not had the second one. I guess the only thing I can think of was when we were younger, when I was back in my very early 20s, about 20 or 21. There was a few of us where I lived. We lived near lots of race courses, so we used to go watching horse racing all the time. And we've had this horse that we loved called Toto, and it was, as a 3-year-old, it was injured, so it couldn't run in the Derby. But over the next 2 years, it was a Grade 1 horse, beat the 2 Derby winners of the next 2 years, and this horse was just unbelievable. And we started backing him when he was like 20-1, and then the odds started getting silly. But his very last race was the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe in Paris, and so we thought, let's go and let's just pile onto him, and he'll win that race. It'll be perfect. So me, Dave, and Eddie. Dave was working in Terminal 4 at Heathrow in the currency exchange department. And so we said to him, okay, look, yeah, here's some money, Dave. Well, Dave's boss said to him, oh, don't worry about giving us money. The race is on a Sunday. We're shut. Why don't you why don't you just take what you need and then, if it loses, give us the money. If it wins, no dramas, So it's like so we all upped our bets. We thought, oh, okay, that sounds a great idea. So Jim, I know this is not going to sound like a lot of money to you, but back in 1980, whenever it was, like £150 was a lot of money to me.
Sure.
So I did 150. Eddie did 250, and Dave, oh my God, he went the full £500. So he got all these into francs.
Yeah.
Headed off to Paris. Now the thing about Toto, he always used to come right at the end, and he always won by about that much.
Wow.
This time, he didn't quite get, and he lost by about that much. And you've never seen 3 more despondent men, well, young men. And we were like,
yeah.
How did he get beaten by that? He'd beaten the horse at 1. I can't remember his name, Sultan, I think it was. He'd beaten him like by about 20 lengths the last time out, and we were just like, oh. But yeah. So if I'd known he was going to get beat, I'd have stayed at home. Yeah.
Yes.
I'd probably still. Actually,
You could bet the other horse.
Your horse laid down on you.
We had a great time, but yeah, I might not have backed so much. But hey, no one died. So
yeah, that's right.
Reminds me of that Peter Paul and Mary song. Oh, Stewball was a racehorse. Remember that song?
No.
I don't know.
Stewball was a racehorse. Listen to that, yeah, because he didn't bet on Stewball. He bet on the other horses.
Nick's horse needed 1 more meter to get that on the other side.
It was finishing like a train, and we would. They published the photos of the photo finishes, and we just stood there looking at it.
What else did you do?
So small. I was that close. And unfortunately, so was the horse.
Needless to say, I didn't feel as bad as Dave and Eddie. In fact, Dave, to cheer up Eddie on the way home, bought him a gentleman's magazine.
Well, I've got something I'd like to share. When I returned from Europe, I was in New York City with my husband, and he said, you know what, we should buy gold stock because gold stock then, or if you could buy the actual brick, was $35 an ounce. And I thought about that, because we had some extra money, and I thought, well, maybe, maybe not. But I didn't know anything about the stock market. I didn't know anything about gold and silver and all of that, right? But I'll tell you why I didn't go ahead with it. I remember, first of all, I didn't know anything about it, and I didn't know if it was cheap or expensive or what. But when my mother had given me one of her rings that was gold, and she told me, because I was getting married, she said, take it there, and then you can use it to buy your own wedding ring. So I remember taking my mother's beautiful gold ring that she had on her hand, and I went to a jeweler, and he said he was just going to give me like $35 or something. And here I thought he was going to give me $100, and I did not. I did not sell the ring for $35. I kept it instead, and then my husband went and bought something else. But I could see that like you spend a lot of money on gold, but it's not worth that much at the end when you try and resell it. And my sister, who was a gemologist, said, Maria, jewelry, they ask 1,000% more than what it's worth when you buy it. That's just the way the game is with them, right? That's how much profit they make. But then when you try and sell it, they don't give you quite as much. Well, they don't give you not even half of that, right? So I learned that lesson. I never regretted not buying gold, because I wouldn't know what to do with it. If I was going to carry a brick of gold around when I crossed the border, I didn't understand the stuff. But I never regretted it. I remembered that, right? And regretting would be that if when I was in school, I should have learned a little bit more about the stock market, right? Never mind about other things. So then we could become more practical in our life, right? We don't have to wait until we're out of school to learn all this stuff. We should be able to learn this stuff in school. But
that's true.
Yeah, but we didn't have the internet. We didn't even know about the stock market. That was only for rich people. Like, who knew about that stuff, right, Nick? But I mean, when you
totally.
yeah.
How many people have ridiculed you about Bitcoin?
Oh, I know someone who's making money with Bitcoin.
No,
actually.
not lately. They aren't.
Oh yeah, he still is.
Bitcoin went up and it went down.
Okay. No. How he does it, he lends it out, right? So he goes into a site. He's like a mortgage broker. It's like he's a lender, right? And that has never stopped him from making money. He's been doing that for over a year, and he's doing very, very well. So all that. Cycle. Yeah, he's not playing the cycle. He's not bidding or anything. He's a lender. And if, like he says, if you're lending between 9 and 19%, you're not going to lose. And he hasn't. So, but no, I didn't understand Bitcoin, so never went into it, but I might do the lending part of it. That I understand in any business, Well,
Peter's got all his money buried under a tree in the backyard. Irish do that.
Yeah.
No, it's actually a rock on a rock wall.
Yeah, that's right.
I pass a house quite a lot, and I think it was 1987. I think it was that when our stock market went down, remember everything crashed. And I went to the wasp nest. I remember the guy. He says, "If you get any money, son," and I go, "Why?" He says, "Go and borrow some." I said, "What for?" He says, "Go and buy blue chip stock." He says, "Because it's the best thing to buy it." And boy, was he right. Major blue chips, and it just went screaming up. This is one of the things at school, and I also remember a guy became a millionaire because he took his family allowance. He was a postman, and he put all his family allowance into stocks and shares, and later on he became a millionaire because of it. We just spent it off.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
you got to know what you're doing, haven't you? That's
yeah, of course, yeah.
And of course, also, you only if you bought your Bitcoin in December, you're still quids in. It's only 10 grand or so back in December.
Well, Scotsmen have a reputation for being tight.
Correct.
True.
I don't know if you know this, but we went decimal. And before that, we had pounds, shillings, and pence.
Yes.
Right? So
we might have that again.
I count everything that I buy in shillings. And I'll say, 19 shillings for that. And I don't buy it.
Yeah.
And you save a lot of
Yes.
19 shillings.
Yeah.
For paper. That's 90 pence, I think.
Yeah. Interesting.
Can I just say to Maria, it's interesting what you said about the gold. I mean, it'd be so cool to carry your gold when you're traveling, because then when they say, "Well, what's in your bag, madam?" and you just go, yeah, have a little look, check that out. Would be quite cool. But I accidentally was watching a program the other day in the UK in the afternoon while I was having a very late lunch, and it's called Dickinson's Real Deal. And this person had brought with them some gold sovereigns that were really worth a lot of money, but they weren't, because they'd been mounted. So instead of having them as normal, they'd put these little mountings on them, so the jewelry, and it just wiped out the value of the sovereign.
Wow!
Amazing.
Wow!
Yeah.
Could the mountings be taken off?
No, because it had mucked up, because they were it was like, I'd had it done. It was like they'd welded it in, and so it wasn't. If they just left it as a normal sovereign, it would have been worth like 10 times more than it was with these mountings.
Yeah,
I have a set of cufflinks that are $10 gold pieces from the 1800s.
Oh, wow! Wow!
I should have kept them as they are.
Well, no, I bought them that way.
Okay.
They're in the safe. I mean, they're a prized possession. There's something I like.
Yeah.
I very seldom would wear them.
I went to a dinner once. My father is in the Freemasons, and I went to a dinner once with and I met one of his friends, and he was so funny. This guy, he said he had this toothpick, little silver toothpick, and after the dinner, he's been doing his teeth. I said, "Oh, that's a nice toothpick." He went, "Oh, yes, it's solid silver." He said, "I've got a gold one, but I think that's a bit gauche." Yeah, sounds gauche to me. I said, yeah.
Oh, very British. You're gauche.
Yes.
Marco hasn't told us anything.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Before Marco's story, to give Marco a few minutes, just going back to Maria's jewelry story with 1,000% markups. We had a jeweler in the UK who Nick and Peter will remember, called Gerald Ratner. And if he could have foreseen what was going to happen after he gave a dinner speech, he might not have made that speech.
Okay.
Crazy.
Because he had branches all throughout the UK selling jewelry, but he was selling high-end jewelry and low-end jewelry as well. And he said at the dinner, "I don't know why people do it. They pay a lot of money to buy rubbish from our shops, but I'm just happy that they do." And Ratner's disappeared very quickly.
What they used.
No.
Was that the end of him?
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah, I think he compared it to a prawn sandwich, didn't he, or something like that? It's like,
Gerald Ratner.
Wow.
My wife would not wear her genuine jewelry. She wears her. My wife has got incredible collection of jewelry. I mean, but she wears the costume jewelry. And I've said, "Why don't you wear the good stuff?"
Yeah.
That's too dangerous.
She wears the. I bought her a lot of great jewelry, and she's got a De Beers diamond necklace, numbered piece. I mean, just she never wears it. She'll wear costume jewelry. I don't. You said, she should be British.
I've got to agree with you, Jim, that I never pay big bucks for money. I'm sorry, for jewelry, big bucks for money. I don't. I see it as a waste of money, because who are you trying to impress? So I can buy the same thing. Well, no, I mean, who cares? I mean, like, if you don't move in those circles, and even if you do, who cares? What difference is it going to make to me if they think I have real stuff on or not real stuff? Because my worth is not based on what they think about. My worth is based on who I am and what I think about myself, really.
You've been talking to my wife.
Yeah, I think so. But I never spent money on jewelry. I mean, my sister, I bought only one really beautiful thing from my sister. Yeah, I think it was 18 karat gold or 24, just beautiful, you know. But the rest of it's all costume. I mean, who cares, right? Because then if I lose it, I mean, it doesn't matter. But I think, you know, if you use jewelry as a form of investment, then yeah, you put it in the vault and you save it and whatever else you do with it, right? But other than that, I don't see it. You know, I don't understand it.
But it's a bit like having fine art and not
Yes.
hanging it up, isn't it? Or not showing
Yes,
it.
it is.
So
Yes.
such a waste.
It is. It is. But Chris knows about that.
Yeah.
It's
So
part of
Chris,
it.
if you know, if you had a beautiful painting that was worth
Yeah.
millions of dollars, would you want it in a safe or a cellar, or would you like it on your wall?
I wouldn't risk it on my wall because it's too dangerous for burglars. So also my jewels, they are only silver, not expensive things, not at all. With a pearl necklace, and all the things you see here are not so very expensive things, but they are beautiful.
Yes.
And I hope this evening that I have some luck to have a little painting of cats. It's a kitten. I hope I can win it
Cats
at the
again,
auction
cats.
in Netherlands. But as you see it, that's also not a fortune that costs. Dus, it's a reasonable price, and when it's in the brackets they have set, that then it will be good for me. It is a commercial price. I hope I can have it. I don't know because I have. It's not an enemy. It's a person in London who is always taking the order from me. So I am always the underbidder. And it's the gallery of Richard Green. And I'm afraid that this evening the same thing
You
will
have somebody taking the orders away from me. I know some gangsters. I can help.
Wish you good luck tonight, Chris.
Thank you. I will need that.
Yeah.
Don't get
Yeah,
outbid.
go on.
Right, Marco.
I work.
Right,
Go
okay,
ahead,
Marco.
Stephen.
Over to you, either to tell your story or to change topic. Your choice.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
No, I will tell my story. It's a short story, and then we will talk about jewelry because I have something to share with you from here. Okay, it's a Romaria from Portugal in my hometown in August, usually before this crazy thing, and you will see what jewelry is because what you're talking about is kind of a game of kids. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I have there the video. Then, if Mr. Steven allows me, I will share screen, and then you will see what jewelry is. Okay. So let me put the video in the queue line. And then in a while, if you want, Steven, you can share after my story.
After your story, right? All good to go.
Yeah, because I want to share my story as well.
Yeah, of course.
It's not an amazing story, you know. When I was young, and I was thinking about being a physical education teacher. I was in love with sports. I was even though it doesn't show now because of my more than 200 pounds. I was a really thin guy. Okay, and I would like to be a physical education teacher, a sports teacher, but then my high school didn't went well. By accident, I came to this marketing world, and so if I could get back, my regret maybe it would be kind of okay, not regret. If I had the chance to do it differently, I will go in the high schools. I will go to business studies, and then I will go to marketing because it's my real world. And I don't look back with okay. I should, but yes, I should be a better student because, for instance, I should do my degree in 5 years. It took me 10 years to make it. So I think this is my biggest regret. If it was today, I will do it fastly because, for instance, I would love to do Erasmus, to travel to somewhere for a semester and to know different cultures. But okay, there's nothing to do about that now. But if you don't mind, Stephen, let's see what real jewelry is.
Okay.
Are we good to go, Stephen? Okay, yes, we are.
Yeah, sure.
So,
E acreditem, eu não estou nas Arábias com muito ouro, Inxalá, não. Eu estou em Viana do Castelo, mas aqui também tem muito ouro.
this is, look.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Beautiful.
This is the traditional costume. There's different
ouro que eu tenho.
customs here.
Vale muito.
Olha, pode comprar cá, que é mais
Sim.
barato que em todo o país.
Eu tava cobrando por ele 1 trilhão de euros, né, papai? Mesmo assim, não quero vender mais não. E Margarete, eu gostaria de saber da história do desfile da mordomia.
Então, o desfile da mordomia este ano, especialmente à tarde, para nós podermos aproveitar um bocadinho fresco da tarde, mas tradicionalmente era sempre de manhã. Era o primeiro desfile e continua a ser o primeiro desfile das festas, em que nós vamos convidar as entidades, as autoridades administrativas
She's
a vir
talking
participar nas
about
festas,
this
assim como convidar
parade,
toda a população
okay?
a vir apreciar o que temos de melhor. Portanto, as mordomas são quem
Only
convida
women,
a
okay?
população
When
a
we are
vir
talking about
apreciar
feminism
as
by these
festas
days,
de
in this
Viana, as
parade,
maiores
only
romarias do
women
país.
allowed
As
in,
mulheres são
okay?
daqui, somos da FIF. São a terra mais pobrezinha em vestimenta que vai encontrar por aí. As barras das saias são lisas, não têm bordados.
She's explaining the costume.
Um bocadinho trabalhados, mas não muitos. Esta até está um bocado. Normalmente estão um bocadinho menos trabalhados, assim. Os nossos lenços são canários.
Brewed by hand, okay?
Yeah, beautiful.
Os peitoreiros são laranjas.
You will see the size of this soon, I hope.
Lavradores, de pescadores, e portanto não temos muito dinheiro. Quanto mais para dentro for dentro do Concelho de Viana, Santa Marta, Miadela, vai começar a encontrar cada vez mais fatos mais trabalhados, com mais bordados, mais ouro no peito, os lenços em seda. Portanto, cada fato vai representar
because there's little village here, okay, and the customs, they also show the wealthy of that village, okay, so those most poor villages will have simpler customs. Those villages who are more wealthy, they will have more expensive customs, the materials used, and also the gold.
Até hoje usam?
Não.
Não se usa mais, é só nas festas.
São trajes exclusivamente de festas.
Muito obrigado pela explicação, foi 100%. Obrigado, tá? E aqui, as pessoas que vêm visitar o desfile, elas também andam com seus cordões de ouro, elas trazem para prestigiar. Não são só as pessoas que vão participar do desfile da mordomia que trazem ouro. As pessoas que vêm contemplar, que vêm apreciar, também trazem seus ouros para fazer uma homenagem. E é muito lindo, é muito bom, vale muito a pena vocês conhecerem essa festa.
And there's a whole kind of
e a gente fica impressionado.
How do I say it? Ritual to dress properly, okay? Some people are really strict about the proper way to dress, okay? There's no, if, for instance, if you don't have that thing properly, it's some nazis will attack.
Caramba, ela é responsável então por trazer todo o ouro da
Look the gold of this lady.
Desfilar aqui.
Beautiful.
Né?
Some, yeah, but there's something here. Some it's borrowed, okay?
Júlia, que responsabilidade, hein? Seus parentes devem ficar tudo olhando. Olha, Júlia. Aqui nesse evento tem mais de 30 milhões de euros em ouro. Você tem noção? E eu tenho meu ourinho aqui, minha barrinha de ouro, minha barrinha de cereal de ouro.
Okay, let me just...
E é claro que com todo esse ouro circulando por aqui, o esquema de segurança foi total.
Let's see.
That one lady used all that jewelry she had reminded me of Mr. T.
Okay, let's just see a little bit of the party, okay? This is the big heads. Okay. Just a curious fact about this party. Usually, it's a small town. We have around 40,000 people in the city, living in the city. In this party, it's more than 500,000 people visiting the city.
Wow.
Okay. So this is a giganton.
Yeah.
I think that was my German teacher.
Okay. Well, if you want, Stephen, you can take it away.
Okay, I shall.
Very nice. Very
Okay.
enjoyable. Thank you. That was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes,
Good.
never
I
seen
loved it.
before.
Boy, that was jewelry, all right.
There
Can I
you
share a
have it.
screen, please?
Visit Portugal. Yes, certainly you can, Jim. Okay, and you're going to stop sharing, Marco?
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me.
I don't want to get confused because if I see two screen shares, the odds are I'll get the wrong one. Okay, here we go.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
Oh, my.
Wow.
That's me and my wife. That's me and my wife at convention.
Oh, my
God.
Oh,
That's a lot of bling.
Yes, it
I
is.
wear that jewelry every day. She only wears it at convention. But that ring on her left hand or her right hand is a canary diamond. It's only 1.5 carats, but it's probably 180,000. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and
I know where you live, Jim. I know where you live.
I have $100,000 every day right now on my left hand.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
I wear 100,000 on my left hand. That ring is 35,000. The Rolex is 73,000. And I bought my wife a lady Rolex to match it. If you
My
notice.
goodness.
ah, yes.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Which convention is this? Jim? Which convention do you wear that jewelry? Which convention is it?
The National Automobile Dealers Convention. This is what I speak at most often. But like I say, and the Rolex that I'm wearing on my left hand was given to me as a gift by a car dealer. I didn't buy it.
Wow.
Wow.
It was amazing. And I've had it since 1988. I've had it quite a while. It's a 5 carat bezel. Yeah. And so yeah.
You have nice friends, Jim.
Yes.
Take good care of them. Take good care of them.
I wear that jewelry every day. My wife wears her Rolex every day, but she doesn't wear the rings. And I bought her 4 of those canary diamonds. I have a Israeli jeweler that imports these diamonds for us or sells them to us after he imports them. But when you're talking about jewelry, that's amazing. I had a consulting client in Pennsylvania in 1988, and he took me to a country club for dinner. It's at Christmas time. And I thought he was going to renew my contract. He said, "Jim, I'm not going to renew your contract. I've hired some of your employees." I said, "Oh, thank you." He said, "But I bought you a gift." And he comes out with this box, and I recognized the box. It was a Rolex box. I said, he bought me a steel and gold Rolex. Oh, my God. He comes out with this double diamonds president. I'm going, my God. What a gift. So
Jim, you open the box and there's a Swatch there.
No Swatch.
Baby
I called my wife and I said, "You wouldn't believe he gave me a Rolex." She said, "Oh my God." I said, "What?" She said, "I bought you one for Christmas."
Oh,
I said, "Well, okay, well, what?" So we took it back and got her lady's Rolex identical to mine.
My goodness.
We took the one back that she bought me.
Amazing.
Okay, that's all I have there, Stephen.
Wonderful. Well, now we know. Now we know what it's all about.
Well, being a professional speaker, Burt Reynolds in the movie Smokey and the Bandit. Sally Field said, "What do you do?" And he said, "I show off."
Mm-hmm.
Guess what I do?
Fantastic.
Well, and the thing that the thing that you do, and if you you guys watch any of his videos with the dealerships and stuff like that, is that you give experience to dealerships to help them in turn succeed and make money and stuff like that. So what you give them is is very valuable to them. So
Sure.
yeah. So
yeah,
I have
absolutely.
a show I do weekly now, like this show.
Yeah.
It's called
Yeah.
The
Not
Dog
so good.
Pound.
Not so good. I'm sure it's not that good. So good as
Not,
this one.
not as good as this. No, not as good as this.
Okay.
But I have a show called The Dog Pound, DAWG Dog
I
Pound.
saw it. I saw
Yeah.
it. I saw it.
and
You saw
I
it?
watched that.
I'm doing it with,
Yeah.
with automobile people, and Stephen taught me this.
Yeah.
I mean, I am so grateful to my friends here on this broadcast. You know, I learned so much from you. I even learned from Peter.
He didn't say he learns good things. He just said he learns.
Every one of you teaches me something. So,
Sure we do.
so I am grateful, and my business is. I apologize. I haven't been here for the last 2 weeks, but I signed a major consulting contract, and
Fantastic.
and I've told the people that I'm working with I can't be with you on Tuesdays.
I'm seeing now Steve, Peter this night in the bed with James said he learns from me. Oh my God.
Oh, for sure. We're learning.
Frank,
What
it's
did that
not
teach
just
you? What
Frank
did that teach
Sinatra
you?
lyrics.
I'd like to know what he's learned.
Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Our journey will continue next week. I'll hand over to Marco in a moment, but I just want to share something because I have 3 screen shares. No
Okay.
problem with it. We are actually live on the webpage. It's playing our video. And if I press play, we'd see ourselves live. This is my latest. I just love the fact that we can go live on a website because basically it means that whilst people are watching on your website, they can read your blog posts, visit your shop, click your affiliate links, and instead of working for Facebook and YouTube, we're actually working for ourselves.
Excellent.
So I posted a link earlier. If you want to take a look, you want to share it, please do. But it is the one link we can share out to people so they can actually watch us live rather than searching around Facebook or YouTube. Go to that same page every week and we will be live there.
Excellent.
Okay. Now, one final thing. I'm going to stop sharing that and come back. There is a new feature on Restream this week, and I'm going to switch it on and see what you think. We can have background music in our shows.
Oh, nice.
And
Can you play Frank Sinatra for Peter?
Also, Stephen, I think you can have animated backgrounds as well. Have you tried?
Not yet. No, I'll give it a whirl for 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, I will do it before next week.
You're hosting next week, Sukasa.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
So showing this video about my hometown gave me a good idea to the next week's topic, which will be talking about our some local tradition. Okay.
Okay.
So if you can, maybe Jim can share a little bit more about his rings. Well, but for instance, if you want to share a video, a photograph, please. Next week, prepare it, and we will talk about this. A little explanation, what it is, and whatsoever, and we will be talking about tradition because even though things are getting a little better, we don't I think we are not that sure that we should travel. And for instance, I'm not pretty sure that this year this party will happen. I'm almost sure that it won't. So this will be kind of a flashback,
Yeah.
a memories time,
Okay.
Okay.
and
Okay.
also a kind of a postcard, a live stream postcard.
Okay. Sounds wonderful. Sounds wonderful.
Sure.
Sounds like fun.
Marco, can we send you a photo over for next week?
You
Did we
can
send you
share.
the video? Yeah. Screen
Yeah,
share?
you can. Yeah, you just screen share, for instance.
Mhm.
If you like to show me a bike, oh my God,
Right. So
a big
you
pipe
need us to
parade.
send over a picture. That's what I'm trying to work out.
Yeah, you can send me a picture, no problem.
Okay.
Okay, but if it could be a video, for instance, if it's a video with some people playing bagpipe, it could be the 1 hour long of the show because I love bagpipe. Yeah, I'm serious. I'm serious because here there's in the north of Portugal and the other side of the border in Spain,
Mhm.
there should be some Celtic influence because we have
Yeah.
a tradition in bagpipe as well.
Mhm. Yeah. Interesting.
We don't wear
Tradition.
kilts. We don't wear kilts.
They wear
But
skirts.
You want Peter in the kilts.
But yes,
Here in the States, they have I don't know, I don't follow any of this kind of stuff, but they have tactical kilts, and I'm like, what is that?
Does
Like
that-
a
Yeah,
skirt
what
with
does that mean?
cargo pockets?
Yeah.
maybe if
I'm
you are in a rush.
I'm definitely not Scottish, Irish, or anything like that. I mean, I know exactly where my family came from, and it comes down to two countries. My grandparents, grandma and grandpa maternally, and grandma and grandpa paternally.
Mhm.
Between the four of them, it's all two come from Denmark and two come from their whole heritage come from
Mhm.
Denmark and Germany. So I know exactly where my whole
Yeah.
my tree
Yeah.
comes from, and none.
Yeah. Yeah. No way. Not Scottish. Eh? Not Scottish at all.
Nope.
No Scottish
Nope.
there.
Now my daughter is part Irish because my first ex, she yes, I have a collection. Her mother's yeah. Anyway, but yeah, her grandmother was from just outside of Dublin, and so being Danish, red hair kind of the red hair trait. Gets passed down. I mean, my dad had reddish hair. When my hair gets wet, it starts looking more red. But and my daughter, she was born with just bright red hair. But then in the summertime, it gets blonde highlights, and everybody always asks her, "It's like, oh, where do you get your hair done?" She's like,
The sun.
"Yeah." So, but yeah.
Yeah. All good. All good.
From everyone on the broadcast tonight, enjoy the rest of your week. We are back at the same time next week at Marco's house. We look forward to seeing you. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.